What's up, YouTube? Come on in. Got a quick little discussion for today.
Shame. Shame. Shame.
What's going on, people? Shave and bump. I'm gonna give y'all a little second to come in, and then I guess we'll just go in. The reason why I wanted to do this live is because I also wanted to get other people's opinions who may be aware of Tariq Nasheed and who may be aware of Cynthia G. For most of you who was on my last page, subscribe to my first page, rather, Derek Jones Talks. You know about the respect I be having for Cynthia G as a sister to get out and say the things that she says. I don't give a fuck about no weave or none of that corny shit. Like, I just respect what she say because it needs to be said, because systemic racism is the number one problem that black people face, not unity. Because black people had unity back in the day in Kingdom's time. We had way more unity than we have now. We actually did have unity, and we were still dealing with systemic racism. Go figure. So that's where I'm at right now, shooting this video, because I think that what's been going on with her is a good thing as far as the videos that she makes. Some people kind of be annoyed with her style, you know what I'm saying, which could be deemed a little annoying at times for certain people who don't want to hear that shit. But I be cracking up because I like her fire and I like her spunk. So I be like, get him, nigga. But there was some things going on with Tariq Nasheed, and I have my own personal issues with, not issues, let me not say it like that. I have my own personal, we could say it like that, whatever. I have my own personal issues with Tariq Nasheed, no different than I have with anybody else that I may listen to or whatever. I don't listen to everything or subscribe to everything that they talking about. So, but I subscribe to enough to fuck with them and for us to have some sort of resemblance of black unity. Dealing with this whole Tariq Nasheed mess and Cynthia G mess, the number one issue that I have, let's start off with Cynthia G. The number one issue I had with her was when the whole shit went down, I think that she was mincing words instead of just coming out and saying, yeah, I said what I said, and that being that. And I'm going to preface it right now because I don't know who's familiar. Let me go back for 2 seconds because I don't know who's familiar or who's not familiar with the whole situation. What went down is about a week ago, or not even a week ago, there was this sister that works for on the show with Tariq Nasheed on his live show, on his podcast show or whatever, on blog show. And anyway, he had fired the sister live on air. You know what I mean? Like, he was berating her, talking shit, and then he fired her live on air. And then after he fired her live on air, he commenced to making videos about her and talking shit about her. Now, I don't know what fucking relationship Tariq Nasheed has with this woman, what issues he has with this woman, and why any of this was done. And I don't even purport to know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I'm going to comment about what I'm going to comment about. And what's going on, people? Quad Marley in the house, Oak Tiff Cliff, Tawana, of course, Tasha Pope. Tasha, you, Salima, and Keisha Ray, and Greens, y'all some solid-ass day ones. And Tawana and everybody else is proven to be the same. Like, y'all some solid supporters, man. I love y'all dearly. But I was Darkman TV was good. What I was gonna start off by saying that the whole shit started when Tariq Nasheed fired his sister and live on air, and he made a couple videos about her, talking shit about her. And so the sister goes on another popular sister's blog show called Cynthia G. And the sister Cynthia G, who I think her and Tariq, as far as I'm concerned, or I know that they've been cordial in, basically two networks or platforms working with each other. So, which is no problem. Two black platforms working with one another. So anyway, the sister did a show over on Cynthia G's live stream, and she was talking about how um what happened with her, how Tariq fired her on air, and everybody knows about it. Is live on YouTube TV. He fired her, and this is the issue that I have. One of the issues that I have with it. Now that I let everybody know what's going on, the number one issue that I have with all of that shit is the manner in which it was done. So when I go in on Tariq Nasheed, I ain't going in on Tariq Nasheed as a person. As a man per se. I'm not going in on Tariq Nasheed for his contributions to whatever he, wants to contribute to the black community, because everybody got their verse, man. So everybody got their verse to share, and everybody got their verse to add. So with Tariq Nasheed and doing the movies and all that, that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's with all of that. I'm with all of that. But I have an issue, first off, in a professional sense. Now, in a professional sense, as a man who had a business and had up to 7 employees at one point, dog, I understand what it means to run a business. I understand what it means to have employees. All my friends are business owners. I understand what it means to run a business and to have employees and to deal with bullshit from employees and to have good employees and this, that, and the third. So I understand all of those things. I also understand that there's a level of professionalism that goes with any sort of supervisor and or manager and or business owner's position. There's a level of professionality that must be exhibited at all times. And for someone to want to get rid of an employee, and the best way that you can find to get rid of this, the best way that you can come up with to get rid of this employee is on a nationally syndicated, basically damn near syndicated show, you want to say, because Tariq Nasheed shit is popping. So you going on a nationally YouTube televised show and fired this woman and talked all types of shit about her, then made a video about her. Now, we all know here in the real world, even these white people can't fire us and on no national platform in front of people. We know, even as wicked as they could be, they can't go around and talk shit about you after they fire you. We even know in this society, as fucked up as it is, your employer cannot say negative things about you when people call. They have to only give the positive things about you. Unless you were a thief or something in their building or whatever the case may have been, and that's why you was fired. So Tariq Nasheed, you was dead wrong from a sense of being professional. You was dead fucking wrong. That shit was some catty bitch shit. I'm saying that not to Tariq Nasheed personally. If he wants to take it personally, nigga, whatever. I'm just saying, because I get a sense of that out of him too. With this, whenever you say something against him, this nigga turns bitchy and catty. You know what I'm saying? Like, he even said on one of the joints on the video, well, when the sister said, how is somebody putting you down or throwing you under the bus by saying you're wrong? Nigga, if I don't agree with you, and if you say that Kevin Durant is a better player than LeBron James, or Kevin Durant is a better player than such and such, and a nigga don't agree with you, dog, that don't mean a person is throwing you under the bus because I say I don't agree with you. Like, that shit don't even make no fucking sense for a grown man to say that shit out their mouth, like saying it, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of being right and square on what you saying. Dog, just because I don't agree with you don't mean I'm bussing you, my G. That shit is crazy, man. You gonna have to check that shit, bro. Cause that's that Sonetta, red pill, all that arrogant, shock, almost elitism type bullshit. Like, you're above reproach. No one can say anything to you, and I don't believe that. I don't agree with that. I don't accept that. I don't believe that. And so anyway, I'm only arguing. I don't care why he did what he did to her. That's between her and that's between him. They had Tariq was upset with Cynthia G, feeling that she threw him under the bus and she was giving people legal advice against him and all of that shit like that. And I agree that she was giving people legal advice to illegal advice. I believe that that's they would, because when I heard the fucking recording, that's exactly what you were saying. In a sense, you were giving legal advice. So what? It's not that big of a deal. Who gives a fuck? That's why, that's the shit that fucked me with her, was like, yo, why is you mincing words? Like, yo, who the fuck is Tariq Nasheed? That nigga, you can't say something in disagreement with this fucking dude. Like, who the fuck is this person supposed to be? So it's like, I don't know if she was contracted to him or what. All I know is this man talked about how he gave this woman a wonderful living and that he was paying her $50 an hour and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, okay. Then he starts calling her a drug addict. Let me say this right point blank fact right here on the open. I smoke marijuana, and people who smoke marijuana know that marijuana aren't drugs. So you could kill that bullshit. And that's that shit that I hate when niggas do on these platforms where they try to play, oh, I'm all about black power, I'm all about the people and all that shit, man. Then when it turns around and they feel that they want to one up somebody or some bullshit like that, they'll pull, oh, you're on drugs. Now weed's drugs. Now nigga smoking tree is on drugs. Really? So stop that bullshit talking about people getting high and coming into the job. First off, people who smoke weed know that people who smoke weed, when we smoke weed and quote unquote get high, that we're more relaxed and cool, because why? Marijuana is a downer. You don't smoke marijuana and go do crazy things. That's not how it happens. So that's bullshit right off there. So I'm going to just address little shit because I'm right now dealing with this whole house of consciousness and this whole house of thespians that this nigga Polite runs. His is called the House of Thespians, while the other one is called the House of Consciousness. So with the House of Thespians, you know what I'm saying, I'm used to dealing with bullshit like that. I'm used to dealing with people who say things just to try to one up somebody. Like, don't call weed drugs, nigga, because it ain't drugs. And the only people who call weed drugs is Europeans who want to put people in prisons for using whatever they say you can't use, which is just reasons to put you in prison so that they can have jobs.
Shame.
Shame on that one.
Shame. Shame.
But Cynthia G definitely gets a shame for her word mincing. Just come out and say what it is that you gotta say, sister. You ain't gotta fucking hide nothing from nobody. Say what you gotta say. And Tariq Nasheed could do what the fuck he wanna do. If he wanna fire somebody, he could fucking fire them. I also had a problem with whoever that person was that Cynthia G brought on her show, other than the sister, the brother who's up there talking shit. And when you start using words like, oh, this was dangerous and this was completely out of line and all, like, now stop taking this shit all extra. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the whole reason why it's an issue right now, is because them niggas been taking that shit extra. Tariq Nasheed's been taking it extra because anytime someone says anything, it's starting to seem against him that he turns catty. I even once heard Tariq Nasheed say out his own mouth about how he'll go to YouTube because he knows people that work at YouTube and he ain't got to worry about somebody that's coming against him because he'll just get your page knocked off. Like, though, that's some gay ass bullshit. And I hope he was saying that shit just as far as the show goes, because if you were saying that shit, brother, other than just as far as YouTube TV and just running your mouth, yo, you soft as fuck, nigga. You fucking terry cloth for that bullshit. Like, you can't rely on your own talent and your own ability, that if somebody's coming up, to making YouTube videos, that you gotta fucking challenge them instead of challenging them, you gotta go to YouTube TV and tell. That's what Sarnetta and them did. So the only issue I have with you, Cynthia G, is one, letting that whoever that person you had on your platform running their mouth, he kind of went across the line because the situation isn't that serious. And I have a problem with you by mincing words. You should have just said what the fuck you wanted to say and let that be that. You ain't gotta deny nothing. Yeah, you said what you said because that's your platform. It's a YouTube social media platform in which you are supposed to engage with people and engage in dialogue with people and the dialogue has to be relevant to what the fuck you're talking about at that point in time. And so those things were relevant to what the fuck you were talking about at that point in time. And Tariq Nasheed is not God of nobody, and I'm sick of these YouTube thugs or these fucking YouTube syndicates that controlling everything, but don't nobody even know they controlling shit. Don't nobody know who these people are. Nobody's ever heard of you. None of this shit. Nobody's ever heard of these rites of passage shit that keep floating around here all the time. So with that, guys, I wanted to go live real quick to make this video because I'm just making it a video, but I said I'll go and do it live. So I said I'll go and do it live. Fuck it. Like O'Reilly said, fuck it, we'll do it live. You know what I mean? So I got a problem with Tariq Nasheed and actually saying he can get petty. You don't want him to get petty. Like, dog, that shit is not a badge of honor. That shit is actually very, very weak and soft for you to get petty with a woman and to fire that sister on air like that. And I'm going to say this before I close out. This is what I'm going to say. And I'm going to say it like this before I close out. Tariq Nasheed mentioned that the sister he felt that the sister was trying to set him up by getting into positions where she was alone with him so that maybe she could set him up for basically sexual harassment, lawsuits, or allegations whenever he didn't bend to her will. This is the impression that he gave. Y'all can go to Unc's Crack Pipe and watch the video. You can go to Tariq Nasheed's video. Okay? So this is what he said. He said, yo, she was trying to always have situations where me and her was alone. She was always trying to have situations where she could get me alone, and I think thus and so, and this was the reasons for it. Now, nigga, if that's the case, let that be the case. She didn't come out publicly saying nothing about you, dog, until after you did what you did. So the whole fact that this shit is public and even known and that people even talking about it is because Tariq Nasheed, yet again, got into his feelings, and it seems whenever he gets into his feelings, these are the outcomes. These are the things that come. He's trying to bury somebody. He's making puppet videos of somebody. He's doing all of this shit, but nobody's making videos about you. Like, nobody's making videos of this grown man putting on lip gloss every other 5 minutes and bullshit like that, nigga. Like, niggas could go in on you just like you going in on everybody else. And the same thing I told Sinetta, the same thing I told Polite, the same thing I tell all them other fuck niggas. I'm me, nigga. I ain't rich. I ain't purporting to be rich. So you can't call me, you can't say, oh, you poor, nigga. You can't say, nah, nigga, you ain't exposing nothing. I just expose myself, nigga. I ain't no child molester. I ain't no motherfucking harborer and hider of child molesters. So you can't say shit about me and expose me on that. I take care of my kids. I'm with my family. I don't even fuck around on my girl. So you can't even expose me on that. There ain't shit you can expose me on. Nothing, dog. I don't scam people. I don't fraud people. So you're not going to be able to come up with a bunch of stories about how I was scamming and frauding people and look at me, how can I talk? There's nothing you can say to me. There's nothing that you guys have on me. You don't have nothing on me, dog, whatsoever, point blank, period. You don't have nothing on me. So then you ain't nothing you can say about me that's going to expose me. I ain't Tommy Sotomayor, nigga. I ain't got no whole bunch of shit that I need to hide. I ain't Sinetta and these niggas who been lying to people all the time. Yo, that's why this new what do they call us? What did Israel Doctor try to call niggas the rookie class, this year's rookie class or whatever? Nigga, we coming in fresh and clean, nigga. We ain't coming in with no baggage. So you can run that mouth about how petty you get and all that bullshit. The pettiest you could get is to run to YouTube like a fucking pussy and fucking try to get somebody's page flagged because you're soft. And that's all that exposes, is that you're soft. Because what type of man who is in charge of making Hidden Colors a message to our people, all this shit, and every time this nigga get into it with somebody, he turn into a catty ass bitch. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'ma holler at y'all in a little bit.